Hello, everyone. Greetings. I see a lot of people here in the chat box. Very excited about that. And I just need to go back to the main chat. Hello, hello. Nice to see you too. Wow, look at all these folks here. Greetings, teachers uh, in Russia and around the world. My name is Jason R. Levine. I'm also known as Fluency MC. You can see that down in the left, bottom left. I am a teacher trainer, and a knowledge entertainer. I say that with rhyme because I use rhythm and rhyme to help students practice English, and that's what I'm here to talk to everyone about today with this presentation entitled Motivating Students to Practice with Rhythm and Rhyme. So greetings, so nice to see so many people here. Wow, let's go. So this is my website, and my main motto you can see everywhere: relax, repeat, remember, which is what happens when we're enjoying practice, whether it's football, cooking, dancing, learning to drive a car, right? We need to practice and make mistakes, get comfortable, and it needs to be interesting and fun, or we won't do it and we won't remember it. So that's what I'm all about. If you're interested after today's presentation, you can check out my website, fluencymc.com. Now, what is English practice? I'm putting that question out for you. I'm very enthusiastic because of you. I get energy from all of you who are here. Yeah, you might sing a little bit or rap. Thank you. If you know who I am, that's fantastic. Maybe you know the irregular verbs: rap, the microphone, I take in, you shake, shook, shaken. That's my irregular verbs rap. So yes, nice to see you. I'm sorry not to spend more time on the greetings part of this presentation, only because we don't have a lot of time, just 30 minutes. What is English practice? And you might have different ideas. There's not necessarily a right and wrong answer, but I have a very specific notion of practice that I want to talk to you about. Reading, speaking, writing, games, one of my favorite ways to practice. So keep going with your ideas about practice. Now, with native speakers, like a conversation, now is conversation practice? It might be, but not in my concept of practice. For me, practice is not conversation. Jazz chants, yeah, like Carolyn Grant. I do a modern version of this with hip hop rap music. So I think practicing English is different from using English. I would call conversation using English. It's your chance to use what you've practiced. So for example, with sports, right? When you're practicing and then you're playing a game, right? The game is the conversation. So practice is different. Practice makes what? What do you think? Maybe we can all agree on this one. Be careful, it's a trick question. I see a lot of practice makes perfect. I don't mind practice makes perfect if we mean perfect not in the sense of no mistakes, but more getting stronger. But I like this one better. What do you think? Oh, someone beat me to it. Was that Nikita? Yes, I think practice makes progress is more appropriate with our students, don't you? If you practice enough, then you're more confident to use English. I want to talk about that a little bit before we talk about music and rhythm and rhyme. Some great ideas in the chat box I'm looking at here. Facing and overcoming obstacles. Wonderful. It makes you feel free. Exactly, because you've done it so many times that you're ready to go, right? So here we have two common definitions, the verb and the noun. I spell them both with a C. Apologies to anyone who feels uncomfortable with that because of British English, but I'm American, as maybe you've figured out by now. So I talk a lot about the differences between studying practicing and using, because I think this is very useful for teachers and for students to consider. I think we all know what studying English is. For example, piano, you could study the piano, and maybe you do read a bit about it and study it, but as soon as possible, right, you need to start practicing, like this little boy. The picture on the right, or my right, your left, my right, I think it's our right, is someone performing. Again, I would consider this more like the conversation, the performance. That doesn't mean no mistakes, but it means you are doing what you've repeated. And the repetition is what makes you, I love this, feel free. I'm going to use that one today. So, my favorite way to talk about this is this quote from Chuck Sandy. I don't know if some of you, I'm sure, do know Chuck. He's written for Cambridge University Press, you know, the Passages series, for example, among other books, and just a wonderful teacher and teacher trainer in ELT. And for a blog post I did, you can see this on my website, I asked 34 experts in English language teaching to offer their ideas for how to improve fluency. And I love this one. Right? You practice something. Again, it doesn't have to be just language. Think about any practice for any skill, and you get better, more accurate. With English, you understand people more easily. That's listening accuracy and fluency, but that's coming. People understand you more easily. Your grammar is more accurate. Your use of vocabulary is more accurate. What happens? You feel more confident. Then you're able to achieve fluency. Here's another way. Ooh, I like this comment here. Some can be confident without being accurate. Absolutely true. And sometimes that's fine if you're fluent enough that people understand you and you can achieve your goals in English. However, sometimes you can be confident and fluent, but your use of English, because it's not accurate enough, can make it more difficult for you to achieve your goals. It depends on the situation, I think, right? So my job, and I do this with rhythm and rhyme, we're getting to the music in just a moment here, is the practice guy. I am not a classroom teacher now. I do workshops and training and make materials to help students get practice out of class, because in the classroom there's no time for this repetition. Luckily, when you get enough practice, right, looking at the hierarchy of cognitive objectives that Bloom did in the 50s. This is the basic model, which is good enough for to make my point. You're able to do activities in the classroom that require more higher order thinking, analytical thinking. Practicing English is the foundation. It's the building block you need first. And I want to talk about that just a little bit more. This is what I notice everywhere I go, and I travel a lot to work with teachers and students. What do you think? For example, you could have a really wonderful lesson with a great communicative activity, but if the students don't have the language up here, which comes from the practice, then they're not going to succeed in that activity. Your activity won't succeed. The students will be bored. They will be distracted. They will feel bad about their English. You will feel bad about your teaching. These are the goals that I believe most, if not all of us, share. Or sorry, the goal on top, right? I think regardless of our approach, regardless of our opinions about English language teaching, we should want our learners to achieve the confidence they need with the language to achieve their goals. The third thing here, there's not enough time or opportunity for this practice in the English classroom. That's the issue that I focus on. And my job I feel, is to help students get more of this practice out of the classroom so that when they come to the classroom, they can succeed more in those activities. And repeating can be boring, exactly, if you repeat again and again. But there is repetition that is not boring, right? There is repetition that is engaging and motivating. I wonder what you think that might be. So I'm going to zoom through this. Actually, I'll just let you read it quickly. I won't read the PowerPoint. But just that this is what I'm trying to promote. And when you're reading this, you might think of some of the things that were mentioned earlier. So games, for example. Of course, we're getting to music, rhythm and rhyme. I think it needs to be because they want to do it, not because they're told to do it. There's something that makes them kind of addicted. They just want to keep doing it, right? They're hooked. And these days we're lucky because it's easier with songs, games, short videos to get this practice out of class, right? The vital piece is how can we motivate them? How can they be confident and want to do it? And if we say you should go get practice, what do you think? Does that work? I've seen teachers even, pointing students to materials that the students would normally enjoy, but in many cases, when the teacher's pushing them, telling them, even if they're interested in it, and even if the teacher has good intentions, this often doesn't work. When learners don't get this practice, how do they feel? Well, I mentioned this earlier, so again, I won't spend too much time here. I want to get to the rhythm and rhyme as practice. And I did mention this earlier. So this is what happens, I think, when there's not enough practice. And I've met students, and I'm sure you have too, who do get practice out of class with songs, with video series, with games, and guess what? They are prepared more in class. They are more motivated. They perform better. So practicing English should be entertaining, natural, and relaxing. What are some examples of this sort of practice? Do you know any students who get practice like this? Let's see if some ideas from you. So I asked you earlier one question. I said, what is practice? But what about your students? Are any of your students more accurate, more fluent, more motivated because they're getting practice? Games, Anna says. Talking, playing computer games in English, films, songs, different games. We rap with my students. Oh, fantastic. Storytelling with pictures, role plays, rhymes. Wonderful. I think today our most important job, this one I will read, as English teachers may be to inspire students to get out of class practice. Because of course it's important to have good activities in the classroom, but I see most teachers with good stuff. The problem I see usually is not that there aren't good lessons in most cases, it's that many students are not ready for those lessons. So what do people naturally want to repeat? For me, there are three categories that I talk about a lot: games, videos, especially short videos we want to repeat. Sometimes movies we repeat the whole movie, but short videos for sure, and music. So music is why I focus on. This is my YouTube channel. I say hello to you. What do you say? So I say hello. What do you say? Hi, hi. Exactly. But what if I say this? If I say hello, I can't sing, I only rap. But I'm waiting for someone to put it in. Ah, there it is. It's me. It's me. Now, if you're old like me, you might say, is it me you're looking for? Ah, there's somebody who's old like me. I recently, by the way, wrote a blog post on this topic. If you go to my website, you can see the blog, fluencymc.com. There's something special about music, and this is a great quote from an article that came out this year. Take a look. The only thing that's missing here is rhyme. One thing that rhythm and rhyme and grammar have in common. But you notice in that Adele lyric, there's not rhyme there. Or is it me you're looking for? So there's something like the pattern. The pattern with rhythm and rhyme is special. So games are great, videos are great, but there's something about music that really sticks in our head. We're going to talk about that now. Someone asked if we were going to sing. Well, if you want to rap with me, you can practice this one. And you can see where I put the stress. I have a whole workshop about stress and rhythm. We're not going to do too much with that today, but English learners everywhere, don't ever forget, the more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the further you go. So relax, repeat, remember, and find your flow. That's my message, one of my messages to students. Rhyme and rhythm. Let's get into it. What's so special about it? Why is it so effective for practice? Thank you very much. Oh, look at these nice comments from. I've got a message for teachers too that I'll give you at the end. So, do any of your students listen to music in English? And do you think getting this practice can help them use English during classroom activities? I'll get a sip of my coffee here. And now you can see I'm really an American with the size of this cup, right? Well, how does rhyme promote language learning? I'm going to ask this somewhat rhetorically because we don't have time. I will look at what you write here, but I want to offer these ideas to you. And I'll just gloss over them. So the most important thing, I think, is it feels good. We enjoy it. But why do we enjoy it? Well, it's the pattern. We know what comes next. Hello, it's me, right? And when it's easier to remember what comes next, when it's easier to remember language, we are more motivated. Easy means more fun. Easy with language means you're more motivated. This last one, sound spelling relationships. I have a whole workshop on this, which we don't have time to talk about today. But as you know, English is crazy in this area. And when you're reading lyrics of songs and you're listening to song at the same time, you can really improve your sound and spelling, your pronunciation and your spelling, rather. Oh, how does rhythm promote English language learning? Great comments here. Oh, thank you. If you like the irregular verb song, I have a lot of other songs to practice English too. So please check out my YouTube channel, subscribe. I've got a big fan base in Russia. It'd be great to grow it even more. Well, rhythm, like rhyme, also chunks together language, and there's this predictable pattern. And this is so important. Also, rhythm is not just sound. Rhythm is also movement, right? It's movement. I'm making sound, but there's also a pattern in the movement. It makes us happy, good. Pronunciation better, absolutely. The last piece, I have another workshop on. I'm saying this partly to promote my teacher training. If you're interested, get in touch. Another workshop I do is on stress and shrinking and linking, like, what are you going to do on Saturday? And that rhythm in English is directly connected to how stress is timed in English. But getting to the main point here, how do rhythm and rhyme build motivation? Well, some of you have already pointed some of these things out today. It really just connects to the enjoyment. The last one here, music makes repetition enjoyable. The more we repeat, the more likely we are to encode language to memory. And when we can remember more easily, then it's more enjoyable to use language. Now, in the classroom, if you use music, it's great, but you also have a big curriculum, a long syllabus, I imagine. Maybe not enough time to do practice in the classroom, to give students the repetition, the exposures here, and the practice here and here that they need. How can we motivate students to practice with music out of the classroom? So if you have ideas, put them in. Here are some of mine. Give the YouTube channel. Oh, thank you, Lola. My daughter's name, by the way. Here are some things I've tried that work very well. So take a look. You can introduce them to songs they don't know if you think they'll like them. So the Beatles, for example. A lot of people who don't know the Beatles like the Beatles pretty quickly. The last one on here is really important to me. Ooh, concerts using English songs, good. Competitions, yeah. I've got a pen, I've got an apple. Everywhere I go, everyone knows that one, just like the Adele song, right? But if you tell students, go watch this video, go listen to this song, it often doesn't work. One thing you can do is make a playlist. So the students are contributing. And you can also make a YouTube playlist. You can play part of a song, part of a music video, not the whole thing. Oh, we don't have enough time, but here's where you can find it. There are also lyric sites where they can get lyrics if they don't already know. Also, there's lyrics gaming sites. Do you know Lyrics Training? I recommend that highly. One of my songs, Stick, Stuck, Stuck, the irregular verb song, is on lyricstraining.com. And there's also Sporkle and Dub Smash. These are all sites where the students can do interactive gaming with lyrics, which is fantastic, combining music and gaming. Introduce songs that are earworms, songs that stick in your head, like Adele. Think about songs that stick in your head or in the students' heads and try to focus on those songs. We don't have too much time, but I do want to practice a little bit. I want to show you a song you might know of mine. If you know Stick, Stuck, Stuck, you know that the point of this irregular verb song is to just get a lot of repetition, like a multiplication table song, just not to use the verb forms, take, took, taken, shake, shook, shaken, but just to have them up here so that you as a teacher can do more with your students. And it's the same with this song, Fresh, Fresh, or Freshest. I have an irregular verb song, Yulia, so go check it out. Oh yes, gap fill for lyrics, and lyrics training is based on gap fills, the gaming. Yeah, so you can get in touch with me, and I've got my email and list coming up, and just go to fluencymc.com. I'll talk about that in a minute if you need to get in touch with me. It'd be great to chat with you by email or social media. So I have a song, Fresh, Fresher, Freshest, to practice comparative and superlative adjectives. So I wanted to do a little bit of that with you. And if you want to do this with me, you can shout out the comparative and superlative. So I'm going to say whether you're young, and you say younger, youngest. All right? So it's going to go like this. Check it out. Fluency MC, by the way, I'm broadcasting live from Paris. I come from New York and New Jersey, but now I'm in France. Let's go. Let's rap. You can even dance like this. Fresh, fresher, freshest. Check it out like this. Whether you're young or old, if you're shy or bold, follow Fluency MC. Stick with me and you'll see we keep it hot. Never cold, make it loud. I'm proud of my family around the world. I could never be without this. Across the globe we're spreading wide. Don't you know we learn through having fun? You ought to try it. Soon, you'll learn quick. If studying English makes you sick, sing along to the song to be strong. Relax and repeat, it won't take long. Thank you very much, teachers. I have a song and video activity book. It was nominated for an Elton this year. You can check it out on my website. We're going to share, we're going to have a question and answer session in a few minutes. Please go to my website. You can check out the book there. And I'll leave you with this thought: when you relax and enjoy your time, it's easy to learn with rhythm and rhyme. And more generally about practice, I think what we learn with pleasure, we never forget. Thanks so much, everybody. You can find me on YouTube, on Facebook, on not VK, although people do post my stuff on VK sometimes, Twitter, Instagram. If you go to my website, you can message me. There's a contact there, and I believe the presenters, I'm the presenter, sorry, the facilitator will be sharing a link to my email list if you want to get news from me, Fluency MC. Thank you very much. Wow, thanks, so many people here. So exciting to connect this way with this many teachers. I feel very energetic, but that's because of the energy I'm getting from all of you. Oh, they work with adults and teens. In fact, my songs are mainly focused on adults and teens. So if you need help using music with adults and adolescents, that's my area. I do little kids too. But I especially focus on songs for adults and teens because it's harder, right? You're very welcome. All of you are thanking me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. Thanks, Jason. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through.
You're very
And
welcome.
I'm gonna have just one question for you so far. We have
Okay.
our moderated get it. It's from Svetlana, and she's
Yeah.
asking, what do you do with those who doesn't like singing? Because she said she's met such, or shy.
That's a great question. Well, I just want to say that, again, my focus and what I suggest for teachers is to emphasize students using music out of the classroom. So this is especially true because not just because of the time you might not have in the classroom, but because in front of students in a short time when they may not be comfortable yet because they haven't heard the song enough, they'll feel shy or they don't want to do it. Remember that when you hear a song for the first time, even the second, third, fourth time, you're not normally going to sing the song. It is not normal. So, even a song in your own language, right? You don't start singing just because it's playing and you have the lyrics, especially if a teacher is trying to push you or students trying to push you. So in many cases, I think it's not shyness, although it can be. It's that they just don't know the song and they're just not comfortable with the song yet. And that means they have to hear it many times, which means how can we get them to listen to the song out of class when they're not in front of people and they have time to hear it enough to be more comfortable.
Good. One more question. We just got it. It's from Nadezhda. She's asking, how do you get motivated being a teacher?
How do you get motivated being a teacher?
Yeah.
In general? Well, that's a big question. I mean, if we're talking, I'll answer it with the focus on this. I mean, I'll connect it actually with a lot of questions I see coming in about teachers not comfortable singing or rapping. So let me talk about that, because I think there's a big, not I think, there's a huge misunderstanding, misconception about this. If you bring a video to your class, are you the actor? Of course not. Now you're using the video. The English is coming from the video. Okay, so this is the same with music. Okay, if you bring me in or you bring in a pop song, you do not have to sing the song. Your job, right, is to get the students to do it. And that often means you don't do it, to be honest, because you doing it might make them feel like, oh, the teacher's singing. So if the point really is not about you rapping, for example, or you singing. It's how can you get them to do it with me and with other people, and that's what I focus on. And then you can, as a teacher, facilitate the classroom, the activities. You're not the performer. So you definitely do not have to be the performer. So about being motivated to teach, I think you've got to, in general, you need to be really connected to what your students are interested in, because then they will motivate you, because they'll be interested in what you bring to them. So that would be my main answer for that question.
Okay, well, thanks a lot again, Jason. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing with us.
And please, anybody who goes to my website, there's a contact. That's an email directly to me. And if you want to join my email list, I think later we'll share that link, and then you can get news from me when I send it out. So thank you very much, everybody. Had a great time.